Hello and welcome to episode 214. For this video guys, I've come down to Devon and I'm back down at Digger Lakes. Not been here since, well, I was here with Craig actually, August time last year-ish?
September.
Oh, was it September?
Yeah.
Got one of Craig's mates, Steve. Hi. It's fair to say this is a bit new to you, innit? You're a bit more hardcore, you don't normally do this kind of thing. Would I be right in saying that?
I normally fish larger lakes, yeah.
So anyway guys, so we've managed to get 3 pegs close together. Steve's in peg 6, guys. Craig's in peg 7, brick point, and I'm in Diesel's peg 8, so we're all nice and social. Right, anyway, without further ado guys, let's go fishing. Right, so that's it then guys. As you've just seen, the rods are out. So each rod, as you've just seen, had to go out with a slightly different technique. Middle rod, fishing back here, little hard spot over there, so that's just an underarm flick, as you've seen. right hand rod, using my new chorus baiting pole, my new 18 metres, so I'm just putting that rod down the margins, and by coincidence, as you would have seen, there's a nice lily pad at the full stretch of the 18 metres of the baiting pole, so I've just dropped that right hand rod down there, and then the left hand rod that takes a little bit more effort, as you've seen, where I'm actually walking the rod out and placing it just round the corner of an island to my left. But I have fished this swim before, I can't remember what episode it was, and I have had a fish off of that spot on the left hand rod by going to that effort that you've just seen me doing. So if it does another fish, then it's definitely worth putting in that extra effort. Right, time to sit back, chill and relax now, guys. Have some food, I think, and then we'll see what the other two are doing, how they're fishing at some point later on in the vlog. Oh, I've got a visitor in my swim, guys. But he's not very well at the moment, are you? No. Tell the viewers what's the matter.
I think the missus has given me a bit of a cough and cold. Not very well.
Tonsillitis, not corona.
Yeah.
Before anyone starts saying anything.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
definitely tonsillitis,
definitely tonsillitis.
not corona disease.
No.
Good.
No, definitely not that. So you might see me tomorrow, you might not.
But anyway, guys, it's all quiet up to now. You've been to see Steve, see how he's...
Yeah, just been over to see Steve. Again, it's quiet, but they are showing.
Yeah, I've had
They are
although
showing.
I've not got a lot of water to look at, I have seen the odd ripple and the odd little bow wave here and there, guys, just to let me know they are at least passing through. So
It still feels bite time, doesn't it? It still feels they're there.
definitely.
Yeah.
Should we go and have a little look at your swim in case you're not here for much longer?
Come on then.
Right, let's go. Hey guys, after that little jog, we're now in Craig swim.
Yes.
Probably one of the few swims on this complex that has a half decent amount of water. This swim's Brick Point,
Definitely.
and it's definitely a highway for fish, isn't it? If anything, because
There's 1, 2, 4 channels that feeds this sort of body of water. So
yeah, so to the left and behind us, Craig, you've got to where Steve is fishing in, guys. There's a tiny little channel, probably about half a rod length wide, just behind these bushes here, that kind of goes to the water where I'm fishing. At the very back of the swim, there's a channel that runs through to Big Junction. And then if you got the other fork, if you like, then that runs over to Peg 4 and 5. 4.
5 is
Yes, Peg 4. Yeah. So it's definitely a good crossroad swim, this one.
But I think the good thing is from this swim, you can't see any other angler.
No, not unless you poke your head through that gap.
Yeah. So it's sort of like you're in a little cove, but not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. To be fair, a lot of the swims are like little coves on here, to be fair.
Yeah. It's quite a hot swim as well.
Seen anything moving in here?
Yeah. On the tree line on the right, side of the island, it's pretty much been moving about all day. It's only up until the last probably hour, it's stopped. It's the left hand side, sort of a control route. I did hold out some hemp and corn earlier.
On your nice new Signet baiting pole.
Yes.
Where'd you get that from? I bet you got it from a really handsome angler, didn't you?
I wouldn't say handsome. Stupid angler. So yeah, I did put out some hemp and corn earlier. Literally within 5 minutes, they were down on it. So I let them stay there. Put a bit more out about half hour later with a rig on. So yeah, hopefully, I think that one could possibly go off first. But again, none of them might
That's
go
if
off.
you stay long enough to try
Let's see
and
if I
catch
stay
them.
long enough. My lamb sit down there ready to rock and roll.
Would you like a kiss better?
No. I'm sure you don't want this.
It'd probably make you feel worse, to be fair.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this session, and I end up getting
Tonsillitis.
tonsillitis.
Right, guys. So, anyway, guys, so that's a little roundup of Craig's swim.
Yeah.
What's Steve up to? Is he still up? Is he? We'll look at Steve's swim tomorrow, guys.
Yeah.
I don't. It's just gone 9 o'clock. I don't know if he's in bed. Is he in bed or anything?
He was getting to it.
All right. We'll have a look at Steve's swim tomorrow, but it's basically the swim I fished last time I was here, anyway. So,
Yeah.
So we have seen it before.
I think he's sort of like fishing the same sort of areas as well, to be fair.
All right. I was bound to get one then. Alright, good morning, mate.
Morning.
And so, first of all, how was the fishing last night? You had any?
Nothing. Not a beep. It was a very quiet evening. There was no real signs of fish, so I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning, had a good look around, and realistically, I think the fish are here, but they're just not on the clear spots. And I don't know the lake very well. I don't know the clear spots. It seems that everyone fishes underneath the trees using spoons, but that didn't produce for anybody around me last night either. So different tactic today.
Yeah.
Chod rig, going a bit old school with a chod rig. Reason for that really is that I don't want to thrash a lead around trying to find hard spots or find something good to fish on. I just want to see fish feeding or showing, and I just put a bait on them. The chod rig is, some people hate it, some people love it, but it catches a lot of fish, and the reason it catches a lot of fish is because no matter what surface you're fishing over, it's always fishing. It's a really simple system, heli safe, drop off. You don't want to be landing a fish with a 3-ounce lead around his face, so drop the lead. And then a line saver bead or chod bead, and then set the bead 4 foot up above it. That way, no matter what you're fishing on, the lead's going to land in whatever it lands in, silt, chod, whatever, and this will come to rest somewhere nice and neat nearby. I always use brightly coloured pop-ups, not too long a chod, maybe 3 inches, and a bright coloured pop-up, and that's it. So I'm going to flick this out towards the tree line now and see if I can tease one of these carp.
Nice one. It's coming up for midday now on Saturday. Rods have not been touched since they went out yesterday, but it is getting to that time where the trip to the facilities is almost due, and you know, so the rods will have to come in for that. So the dilemma is, obviously, because no fish have been caught, where to place the rods once they go back out after that little trip. Over my shoulder, oh, let's move out of the way so you can actually see some of the swim. So as we saw yesterday, the left hand rod that I have to wade out to go and drop it next to the island, I have been getting a few bleeps on that rod, so I think I'm going to stick with the effort that's necessary to wade out all down the margin and to get it round by the island on that spot, because I've been getting a few bleeps on it, so there's definitely movement somewhere along the lines, and I have had a fish from that spot before on a previous session, so although it's not done a fish yet, we will persist with that area. Middle rod that you saw yesterday, that was just an underarm chuck to kind of in line with this island behind me. I might move that rod slightly further back. I was woken up about 6 o'clock in the morning this morning with a fish boshing out, but it boshed out right at the back of the swim under that tree canopy, where there's a few kind of dead fronds of thorny branches just touching the water back there. Is it a fish boshed out under that tree canopy, kind of just behind them kind of thorny things. So I think when the middle rod goes out, I'll use the pole and possibly maybe a little bit of wading necessary to get under that tree canopy. And the bailiff this morning, when he come round, said you can go really tight to that margin as well, because it doesn't slope off. He said it's just a complete drop like that, and he said there is a slightly deeper hole there as well. So I think that will be the area where I'm going to replace the middle rod, and the right hand rod down to the right hand channel. It's not really done many bleeps, or I haven't really seen anything showing down there at all yet, so I'm not quite made up my mind whether to stick with that spot or not yet, so I'll update you when the rods do get redone, but I've not fully made up my mind what to do with that rod yet. Right, and guys, I'm back from me little visit, feeling a lot lighter and refreshed, and now the re-baiting the rig's ready to go out for the rest of the session. Just fishing the good old Ronnie rig with a 12mm pop-up size, using a size 6 curve, not a size 6, a size 4. Nice big strong hook as you've seen in the swim already. We've got a fair amount of weed and some big lily pads, and if I do hook into a fish, and if it takes me through any of the weed and lily pads that I've got out in front of me, on strong reliable tackle, that's going to get me through them possibly weeded up situations. So yeah, nice big strong hooks. And good thing about a size 4 hook with these Indus 12mm pop-ups is that you don't need any rig putty to to balance the rig out between the weight of the hook and the swivel and everything. That's enough weight on its own to slowly sink the 12mm pop up, which is good. Always nice when it works out like that without having to flaff around with putty. Right, that's the 3 rigs baited up. Time to get them out. Not going to film them going out this time because we've already seen them going out once, and I'm pretty much going to fish the same spots, I reckon. Apart from that, getting under that tree canopy, what I mentioned, well, yeah, that's a different spot, so we might have a look at that spot when that rod goes out. But yeah, I think I'll stick with the same spots, I think, apart from that middle rod. Right, anyway, rigs are all baited up, let's get them out. Right guys, first rod is out, the rod I had to wade out to place. Just about to do the second rod, which I'd said I'd put under that far tree canopy. So using the baiting pole, as you can see for this one, still got the waders on because I may have to wade out a rod length or 2 on top as well to get it under there. Baiting up with the house pellet that they sell here. I'll show you a little clip now of a little nice little pellet system that they've got for you to buy your pellet here. So let's have a look at that now. Yeah, so good little system that is, so you can just buy your pellet whenever you want. As I said, it's a house pellet, it's what they feed here when there's not much angling pressure on, so the fish are used to seeing this pellet, so you know, if they're used to eating it, why not use it? So, here we go then. It's not a blank blog. Steve's managed to get one. We've seen the rig and now it's done the damage.
Well, it's not the biggest in the pond, not by a long stretch, Chris, but at the same time that change in tactics has paid off. It's about 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, really hot, but just out there on that chod rig against a set of lily pads with a few baits sprinkled around it. This lovely little chap's graced the net, very welcome, saves a blank for sure.
16,
And just goes to prove that little change in tactics to the chod has made a difference, and yeah, hopefully we'll have a couple more.
Nice one, mate. Good tactic change.
There we are, Digger Lakes produced a little fish for us. the afternoon heat. £16. Nice little fish. Happy with that? Just pop her back. Go and tell your big friends. Come to see us. Yeah.
Right then guys, we haven't really seen him much up to now because he's been a little bit poorly, haven't you mate?
Bit better now.
But now he's feeling better. He's having a redo of his rods. So, do you want to tell us what you're doing mate?
Yeah, so I've let the swim rest for a few hours whilst I nipped out and got some more medication. So I decided on a new spot for the right hand rod. The channel at the top of Brick Point. It's quite soft on the bottom, but I've gone for the snowman on the Ronnie rig with a few free offerings. Yeah, just give him a look for a couple of hours before potentially do another recast for the night. So.
Oh, you will do a recast even though you're putting them out kind of this late in the day? Well, it's not late in the day.
Well, it's not late in the day.
It's what? It's 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So
I'll put this out there for a couple of hours, see what happens. Because bite time normally starts at about 7ish, so we'll see. I don't know. I might leave it there all night. I might not.
Well, I only say that because I'm not touching, because where I'm fishing such a small pool myself,
yeah, exactly.
I think it would just be the kiss of death if I redone my rods.
Yeah, see, they move in and out of it quite a bit, so
yeah,
which we seen earlier this morning. Didn't
exactly.
we? But yeah, right. Let's get this one out.
Happy with that?
Yeah, right on the money. Really happy.
Not far off, you're on the clip now. Last rod mate.
Yeah, so this one's, well, we actually forgot to mention that I lost one about 4 o'clock this morning. There's a set of pads to my left, and unfortunately went in there and cut me off. Well, hook pull. But this one's going to go in the exact same spot as that one from last night, so, which is sort of same sort of range as the other one. There's basically a bar and go on each side of the bar, so there's a gully behind the bar, and it's a little bit softer in front, but I'm just on the edge of it. So.
Alright, and what you're doing, rig bait wise?
So the rig's, it's a Ronnie rig. It's got a 50mm link cork dust wafter chopped down, and I've got a silty squid pop up on top, whittled down so it's perfectly balanced, and then just the mixture is just hemp, maize, corn, a bit of cell boilie, a bit of link boilie, just some with crumbs, some chopped, some whole, just to obviously when I tip it, and then finished off with a bit of smart liquid. which is actually, I've only just changed bait manufacturer. I was with CC Moore. Just fancy a change, I lost all confidence in it, so yeah. So far, first night, it got me a bite, so always win.
Alright, do you want to putting them pole sections out again?
Yes, could you
Handle your big pole?
yes please.
I can do that for you. It's a nice baiting pole this one, mate. Where'd you get it from?
I found it on a Men Seeking Men website.
Alright.
Yeah.
Oh, you put an advert in for looking for a man with a large pole.
Yeah.
Oh.
You turn up. I'm not that surprised at me. You're making me cough.
That section. Nice spread, nice spread. Oh, good evening guys, and it's a little update really as I normally do, but to be fair there's not really a lot to update you with. I think I said it while Craig was putting his rods out, but since I put my rods out early afternoon I haven't touched them and not going to unless any fish come along. We've only fished in such a small pool of water. I think even as stealthy as the pole is, I think if I, still do it too often in such a little pool of water that I've got in front of me, it would just be the kiss of death. So there's no need. I'm happy with where my rigs have been placed. I'm happy with the amount of bait I've put in and how buoyant the pop-ups are, so I'm confident they'll be fishing well all through the night. So there's no need to change anything just for the sake of maybe putting on a fresh hook bait. So yeah, like I said, nothing really as far as I'm aware has changed in either Craig or Steve's swims either. We're basically just kind of waiting for the fish to come along, well especially me and Craig anyway. So well, I'm the one who's seen the least action. Craig's lost one, Steve's had one, and I've had nothing. Normally the way though. But yeah, tonight's going to be a pretty much lock your bivvy down night tonight as well. Very soon actually, probably in about the next hour, we're expecting some horrific rain to come in. Last for about 2 hours. I think it subsides for around about midnight for an hour, and then looking at the weather, then from about 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the morning we've got heavy rain all night right into the early hours. So it's going to be a lock the bivvy down night tonight, I think. So fingers crossed one of us can have something in the night. If it's in the rain, so be it, but if we didn't want to come fishing in the rain, we wouldn't go fishing. Right. Night guys, and hopefully see you in some rain. Oh, good morning guys, and apart from the rain, it was a quiet night last night. Had a couple of beeps on all the rods, but to be fair, I think that was probably just the heavy raindrops dropping out the trees and hitting the rods. I've seen Craig this morning already, he's not had anything. Went to go and see Steve, but he was still snoring his head off, and there's no retainers in his margins with fish sitting in them, so I'll presume he's not had anything, or if he did, it was too small to warrant giving me a shout in the rain. But yeah, so been a bit of a tricky session this one, guys. There's been fish moving through the swims, we know that, we've seen them for all the swims, but at the moment it's only been Steve that's been skillful enough to be able to pick one up. I mean, Craig come close with a lost one, but yeah, been a bit of a tricky situation, and from chatting to some of the other anglers that have been walking around, they've all struggled and blanked as well, so yeah, has been a tricky session this one. Not for the want of trying though, but slowly starting to pack stuff away now. The sun's starting to break the clouds, which is why I've got nets up against the tree trying to dry out. But yeah, there's not long of this session, guys, left, probably only about hour and a half, and then it'll be time to knock it on the head and go home. But it's not over until the rods come in, guys.
What you doing, Christopher?
I ain't got a bloody clue. He's in the net, he's swimming. It didn't matter how he got one, he's in.
Hey!
Oh.
Is that from under the tree over there?
Yeah. Right, I think we've got a bit of a nip one, pearl one. But there's a fish in the net.
Right.
He was hooked in the top lip. Right then, guys, talk about leaving it to the last minute. I am practically packed up, apart from the rods, and my middle rod tore off. I was just going to see the other lads to say, come on, let's go and film the goodbye bit. And my middle rod, the rod that you saw me change spot under that far tree canopy, that's the rod that went. So that proved to be a good little move. There we go, guys, how about that? Certainly not the biggest fish in the lake, certainly not going to break any records, but it means I'm not blanking, and literally the 11th hour. The rods are going to be coming in now as soon as this fish goes back. It's that late in the day for my session. 13#8, taken on a 12mm seafood pop-up on a Ronnie rig. Magic. It's already gone. Did you get that?
No,
Houdini fish.
she came out of the hole in the bottom, did she?
Yeah. Right guys, I said when I had that fish it was the 11th hour, and for me it is the 12th hour now. I am packed up, I'm ready to go. Craig and Steve are still fishing, but I think you're just down to your rods now, you lads.
Yeah.
Yep.
But been a good session, and it's always good not to blank, isn't it, Steve?
It is nice not to blank, Chris.
Yeah. But it's been a good session anyway, guys, and
I did lose one.
yeah, you did.
I don't think losing counts, is it, Chris?
No,
No,
you can't count lost fish.
can't count lost fish.
Right. But anyway, it's been good to see you again, mate.
Yeah,
And nice to meet you as well,
Nice
Steve.
to meet you.
Right. Till next time, guys, when I think I'll be back at Aspen Lakes. Tight lines.